Naruto was not happy. He and Han had first been separated from his group and then eaten by a giant freaking snake. What would be the odds of this happening? He asked Han as they were forced further down the snake's stomach. Han, I need you to dismiss yourself. I'm gonna use an explosive card, okay? Okay Naruto-kun, see you later, Han said before disappearing in a puff of smoke. Naruto reached into his pocket and pulled out a card from one of his many decks. He started pumping it full of yokai before smiling. Heartburn, he shouted before detonating the card. The snake exploded into tiny pieces, sending a smoking Naruto flying. Well, that was a bad idea, he thought as he laid on the ground waiting for his burns to heal. He got up, got rid of any snake remains on him and started heading back to where they'd made camp. When he got there he saw a guy, or girl, quickly crawl like a snake towards Sasuke. Naruto quickly tossed an explosive card at the snake-like man who dodged in time to see the branch he was on earlier blow up into little splinters. Sorry I'm late, I got lost on the road of life, Naruto shouted making the Kusanin, Sasuke and Sakura sweat drop. But hey, I'm here right now, and I'm gonna kick some ass. And with that, Naruto charged. He blurred out of view and appeared right in front of the Kusanin. He delivered a right hook to the Kusanin's jaw, sending him skidding back a few feet. Soka, the Kyuubi brat, thought the Kusanin when he saw the whisker marks. He got a little bit of a blush when he saw Naruto's bare upper body. Naruto's eyes widened when he saw the blush. He bit his thumb and quickly summoned Cho and Han. Okay guys, you know what to do, he told the pandas who nodded and took out a dice each. Tell me, Cho, asked Cho as he got ready to toss the dice. Han, Han said as Shita got ready. Now you Kusa pedophile, guess. Cho or Han, Naruto said to the Kusanin who raised an eyebrow. Han, he said and the pandas rolled their dice. The dice shows 7, winner is Cho, the two pandas said in unison before stomping the ground. The Kusanin found himself unable to move. Genjutsu, Kai, he shouted in his mind but found that he still was unable to move. Double layered, Kai, still nothing. Shit. The Kusanin thought before getting a slash mark across his chest. What the fuck? Cho and Han proceeded to slice and dice the Kusanin who was unable to retaliate. Once the genjutsu was over they saw that the skin on the Kusanin's face had started to come off. That's a pretty gnarly summon you have there Naruto-kun, said the Kusanin in a slightly hissing voice. Naruto smirked. Of course, these bears and pandas are awesome, he said and the panda twins blushed. Not that anyone could see it. Nonetheless, I'm not here for you. I just want Sasuke-kun, Kusanin said and Naruto narrowed his eyes. Who are you? He asked and the Kusanin chuckled. His answer made Naruto's eyes widen. I am Orochimaru, the strongest of the Sannin. Naruto took a fitting stance. In that case, I need you to come with me to the tower where you will be arrested, he said and Orochimaru chuckled again. Do you really think you can take me on? These scratches are nothing, he said with a smirk. Naruto quickly reached into his sleeve and pulled out 4 cards which he pumped full of yokai. He tossed them at Orochimaru who dodged. The moment Orochimaru dodged he found that Naruto had meant for that to happen. How did he know? The moment he leaned over to the left he was met by a kick to the face, sending him flying down on the ground. Once Naruto reached the ground he pulled out 5 decks of cards and placed them on the ground before he started making hand seals. Ninpu. Nyakurokuju Karuta no Mai. He shouted and pushed the cards into the ground. The cards then came out of the ground around Orochimaru and proceeded to form a dome. Those cards will now drain your chakra until you're completely dry, Naruto said, slightly panting before turning to the panda twins. Thanks for the help, I'll take it from here, he said and the pandas nodded before disappearing. After 5 minutes of constant chakra sucking Orochimaru thought of something. Below, I count 260 cards around me. There can't be any below me, he thought and used the headhunter technique to get out. When he got out Naruto looked at him before saying the only thing that came to mind. Shit, I don't have enough chakra to do anything else. That technique is still not ready. Such a terrifying technique. You impress me, Naruto-kun. I'll just give you and Sasuke-kun a present and then I'll be on my way. Orochimaru said before putting his hands in a twisted ram seal. His neck extended and his head rushed for Naruto before biting him in the shoulder, and then he did the same thing to Sasuke. The two of them started screaming in agony, clutching the cursed seal. Kukuku, you two will be fine vessels, Orochimaru said before melting into the ground. Sakura was worried. It had been a whole day since that snake freak put those weird marks on Naruto and Sasuke and they still hadn't woken up. You all know what happened with the Sound Trio. I'm not going to write about it because it's so boring. I'm going to start right before Sasuke woke up in canon. And Orochimaru didn't burn their scroll. Meanwhile, in Naruto's mindscape, Naruto was walking through the sewer that was his mind. What the hell is this? He thought as he saw purple smoke coming out of cracks in the wall. Get over here, boy, he heard a booming voice shouting from a distance. Naruto followed the voice. When he got around a corner he found himself standing in front of a huge gate with someone standing next to him. Oh, Orochimaru, he shouted, seeing the pale-faced man who smiled. Oh, hello Naruto-kun. I was just standing here admiring this great beast, Orochimaru said and gestured for the Kyuubi behind the bars. Orochimaru, how did you get inside my head? Naruto asked the Sannin, who smiled that creepy smile again. I'm no really in your head. This is just a piece of my soul, Orochimaru said, and Naruto got into a fighting stance. And what do you want here? I want to corrupt your soul and take away your free will, Orochimaru said, making Naruto growl. Not gonna happen. Oh come on Naruto-kun. You couldn't take me on in the real world, what makes you think that you can hear? Naruto shrugged. I don't know, but I sure as hell know that I'm not going to let you take my free will away, he said and charged. They exchanged blows for a minute until Naruto kicked Orochimaru in the gut, forcing him to take 3 steps back. Naruto smiled. Right where I want you, he said, making Orochimaru raise an eyebrow before getting impaled in the back by a giant claw. Hello you little snake, you're mine now, the Kyuubi said with a sadistic grin from behind the bars as it pulled Orochimaru in, who screamed in agony. Boy, you'd better go back out. The pink-haired girl is getting the shit beat out of her, the fox said, and Naruto nodded. Okay, but I'll be back and we'll talk, he said before disappearing, leaving the Kyuubi with a terrified Orochimaru. Real world. Naruto woke up to see a spiky-haired Oto Nin preparing to use a Zenkuaha on Sakura, who was biting him in the arm. Die bitch, he yelled and was just about to fire it when a hand grabbed his arm. What the? He said and looked up. Naruto was crouching, holding Zaku's arm in a tight grip. You know, that's not nice, Naruto said with a bored expression on his face which was covered in flame-like markings. He grinned. You need to be punished for that, he said and quickly snapped Zaku's wrist. Zaku screamed in pain before Naruto kicked him towards his teammates, the grin still on his face. Damn, this seal really makes me more sadistic, he thought and was about to turn it off. I'll wait until I've taken care of these guys. Who knows what'll happen when I turn it off? And with that thought he charged Zaku and kicked him in the gut. Spun around him and delivered a crushing backhand to Dosu's jaw and followed through with a sweeping kick to the both of them. Once both was on the ground, Naruto stepped up to Zaku, who was on his stomach. He put his foot on Zaku's elbow and grabbed his wrist. Snappy, snappy, Naruto said and pulled on the wrist, snapping Zaku's arm at the elbow. Zaku was screaming bloody murder while Naruto was on his way towards Dosu. Wait, Dosu shouted and pulled out their Earth scroll. Please let us leave and we'll give you our scroll, Dosu said and tossed the scroll to Naruto, who caught it and nodded. Okay, leave, but know that if we encounter each other again, I will show you no mercy, Naruto said and pocketed the scroll. When they had left, Naruto and Sakura felt a surge of vile chakra oozing off of Sasuke. When they turned around they saw him standing there with flame marks on his face. This power, it's incredible, Sasuke said and looked at Naruto. Fight me, he said and charged before Naruto could answer. Naruto sighed. Baka, charging the enemy head-on like that. He thought and backhanded the stuck-up Uchiha, knocking him out. Sakura, we're heading for the tower at full speed, Naruto said and picked up Sasuke before jumping away with Sakura following. 30 minutes they were in the tower with 1 day left to spare. Naruto walked up to the Hokage, still carrying Sasuke. Sensei, he said, getting the Hokage who was talking to Anko. We encountered Orochimaru in the forest. And he gave us the curse seal, he said, making the Hokage and Anko go wide-eyed. What? Anko shouted and ran forward before turning to the Hokage. We need to seal it right away, she said, and Naruto shook his head. You might want to seal Sasuke's but not mine. Orochimaru's soul has already been removed from mine. The fox ate him, he said, shocking the two. Why, you can talk to him? Yep, I've not really talked to him but I'm going to do it soon, Naruto said. Anko put her hand on her forehead. I need a drink, she said, and Naruto unsealed a bottle of sake from a scroll and handed it to Anko, who accepted it gratefully and took a sip. Thank you. Naruto yawned. Is there a place where I can get some sleep somewhere? He asked, Flay, rubbing his eyes. Anko nodded. Follow me, she said, and led him to the rooms reserved for the examinees, where he got some well-deserved rest. The next day Naruto stood in front of the Hokage with the other genin that passed, getting the speech that the Chunin exams are a replacement for war. The first match was Sasuke versus Yoroi. Sasuke, who hadn't gotten his Onijuin sealed yet, had to stick to taijutsu. He used a move he'd stolen from Lee and used it to create a new move, Shishi Renden. Now I'm gonna skip the rest of the fights. I don't care what you say. They're just so very boring. The only one I'm gonna change is the fight between Naruto and Kiba. Last match, Uzumaki Naruto versus Inuzuka Kiba. Hayate, the proctor, said. Yahoo! We got lucky, Akamaru, Kiba the loudmouth shouted before jumping down onto the arena floor. I doubt it, Naruto said quietly to himself as he shinshined down. Amongst the Junins, Kurenai looked at Kakashi. Sorry Kakashi, but your student is gonna lose, she said with a smirk. Kakashi only chuckled. I doubt it. He's not my real student. He just joined my team for the Chunin exams. Otherwise he's Sandaime-sama's and Anko's student, he said, making the Junins go wide-eyed. Apparently he's gotten a bit of a name for himself. Konoha's card shark. It seems to be enough to scare off Momochi Zabuza. Kurenai's eyes were the size of dinner plates. Momochi Zabuza. Then shouldn't he be a Junin already? No. Apparently Sandaime-sama doesn't want Naruto to skip ranks like that, Kakashi said as he focused his attention on the fight. Last match, Uzumaki Naruto versus Inuzuka Kiba. Hajime, Hayate said and stepped back. Kiba started crouching down with a smirk. Prepare to get your ass kicked, Blondie, he said, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. Blondie, wow, was that the best insult you could come up with? He asked with a smirk. Kiba growled. Shut up, Giju Ninpu. Shikyaku no Jutsu, he said, and grew claws and fangs and crouched down on all fours. Naruto just smirked before summoning Cho and Han. I'll finish this fast, okay guys? Throw the dice, he said, and the pandas once again took out their dice. They looked at Kiba. Now you must choose. Cho said with his eyes closed. Han asked and held up her dice. What? Kiba asked, and Naruto sighed. What, are you deaf? Cho or Han? He asked, making Kiba growl. Han, Kiba said, and the pandas rolled their dice. The dice show 2 and 6. Winner is Han, Cho said, and started making hand seals with Han. When they were done, Kiba found himself sitting on a grassy field, but naked, with an equally naked Hinata standing in front of him. Let's play, Kiba-kun, Hinata said, and started walking forward. That's where Kiba passed out from a nosebleed. Naruto frowned. It seems like dog breath was more innocent than he appeared. He didn't even get to experience the whole illusion, he said before Hayate raised his hand. Inuzuka Kiba is unable to continue due to loss of consciousness. Winner is Uzumaki Naruto, he said, pointing at Naruto, who smiled before the Hokage called all the winners down where they drew numbers to see the matchups for the third exam. The matchups were Uzumaki Naruto vs Hyuga Neji, Uchiha Sasuke vs Sabaku no Gaara, Sabaku no Konkuro vs Aburame Shino, Nara Shikamaru vs Kinyuda Dosu, and Sabaku no Tamari facing the winner. The third exam will begin in 1 month, Hayate said before leaving. Once all the genin were gone, Naruto turned to Sarutobi. Sensei, I need to leave the village for about 2 days, he said, making the Hokage raise an eyebrow. Why? Because there's a Texas Hold'em tournament in the lodging town about 2 miles away from the village and the prize is $10,000. Don't let me go and I'll make your life a living hell, Naruto said with an aura of death around him. The Hokage sighed. If I thought that you had to train for the exams I wouldn't have let you go, but I have faith in you, Sarutobi said with a smile. After Naruto had talked to the Hokage he went to Anko. Anko, I'm afraid we'll have to wait 2 days before we can have our date, he said, making Anko pout slightly. 2 days? What for? She asked. Naruto grinned. There's a poker tournament outside the village and I feel that I have to go, he said, and Anko nodded. Okay then, see you in 2 days. And with that, she left. The next day Naruto was in the casino where the tournament was held, in the finals, facing 2 girls and an Iwa nin. One of the girls had her blonde hair tied into 2 ponytails and an blue-green gem hanging around her neck. On her back was the kanji for gamble, something she sucked big time at. The other girl had blonde hair that reached down to her lower back. She was dressed in a Junin uniform without a village's mark on her headband. Yo, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, I hope we'll have a good match, Naruto said with a smile. Tsunade, said the blonde with the ponytails. My, said the other blonde. The Iwa nin just gave a HN. 2 hours later only Naruto and Mai were left with an equal amount of chips, 5 cards on the table. Ace of clubs, Ace of hearts, 4 of hearts, Jack of spades and 2 of diamonds. You're really good at this, Mai complimented with a smile. Naruto grinned. Thanks, you are too. I haven't met someone as good as you for ever, he said, making Mai blush. So how about we make this interesting? All in, she said, and Naruto smirked. You're on, he said, and Mai showed her cards. Ace of diamonds and Queen of spades. 3 aces, Queen high, she said with a smirk which Naruto mimicked before showing his cards. Ace of spades and King of hearts. 3 aces, King high, he said, and Mai smacked her head against the table while the spectators clapped. Damn, she muttered, he's really good at this. I cut off all his luck and he still won. She looked up at him. Congratulations Uzumaki-san. You managed to rob a poor girl of all of her money, she said with a sweet smile. Naruto sweat dropped. Gee, thanks for the guilt trip, he thought as he took the prize money. When he turned around he saw her sitting in the bar with a depressed look on her face. If he comes over to comfort me, I know he's the right man for me, she thought as Naruto made his way over to her. Hey, he said as he sat down next to her before putting $5,000 in front of her. When she looked at him with a raised eyebrow he smiled. We are practically equally good. I just got lucky. You deserve half, he said, and ordered a drink. The bartender looked at him. Aren't you a little too young to drink? He asked, and Naruto showed him his headband. Listen old man, the minute I put this headband on I was legally adult. And as my sensei says, old enough to kill, old enough to drink, Naruto said, and the bartender shrugged. Meh, I guess I can't argue with that logic, he said, and handed Naruto a bottle of sake and a saucer. Naruto took a sip before turning to Mai. Now, I see no mark on your headband. Don't you have a home village? He asked, and Mai shook her head. No, I was taught by my father who was an ex-kumo nin, she said, and smiled at Naruto. Now I'm just wandering around, taking jobs where I can. Naruto looked thoughtful. Then how about you become a Konoha nin? He asked. Mai went wide-eyed. Really? You could arrange that, she asked, and Naruto nodded. Yeah, the Hokage is my sensei and he likes me, so I could probably talk him into letting you stay, he said, making Mei's face split into a huge grin. Wow, he really is a good guy. I must have him. She told as she hugged Naruto, who was caught by surprise and fell off the barstool.